alorca.org.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online for like a year. She couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
My name is Charles.
My name is Charles.
One day I had a sudden headache.
I had a headache.
My arm went numb, and I felt confused.
My arm went tingly.
I was having a stroke. My wife dialed 911.
I had a stroke on the bus.
Seconds made all the difference.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911.
Time lost is brain lost.
For more information, visit powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Alorica, the leading name in customer solutions, has come to Omaha and is hiring. If you have a passion for customer service and sales, then Alorica has a career for you. To learn more, stop by 7171 Mercy Road, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or online at alorica.com/associates. That's alorica.com/associates. Alorica is making lives better, one interaction at a time. Alorica is an equal opportunity employer.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a
You
left.
are not going to
then
believe
what you're
this.
going to do is turn
Marcy
into
and Brad just broke up,
and go past
apparently
the first
she's
three lights,
happy
and
about
then
it.
take the next left.
I don't really
Then
think
drive
she's
5 more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who am
there.
I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
that's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Legend has it that when a beloved dog dies, he goes to a place of beauty and freedom. Fetch is an all-day game, and everyone eats steak. That place is over the Rainbow Bridge. When it's time, you can rest assured your pet will be treated with dignity and respect as he makes his way there. Ask your veterinarian about Rainbow Bridge Pet Cremation Services, offered with love by the Nebraska Humane Society.
Conversations with Suzanna, broadcasting live on the World-Herald Live app or on omaha.com. Catch her every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, empowering you to look for and accept the good in everything. This is Conversations with Suzanna.
You are exactly where you need to be if you're interested in growing, if you're interested in empowering yourself with knowledge. This is the show that will do it. We're here every Wednesday. We talk about things that are important and that you can guide you into your future a little more happier, a little more safer. Conversations with Suzanna is put up on the iTunes, omaha.com/Suzanna. So please, if you would like to get a copy of this show, which I think is going to be a winner, because we have 3 winning individuals in this room with us. The conversation, if you want to play it, pass it on, please do. We are starting this conversation today, and a very important conversation. We don't live in a world that is always peaceful. We live in a world that has us oftentimes coming from the tribe we were grown up with, and we come into fear. And as we come into fear, how do we bring unity to this world where fear is what leads us? And we start that with the Tri-Faith involvement. The Tri-Faith campus is here in Omaha. The Tri-Faith Center is a Tri-Faith campus, serves as a hub of collaboration for social events, educational activities, and conference facilities. The center has 3 faiths in it currently, And we would like you all to introduce yourself. We'll start with you.
Hi, this is Kareem Kayati, and I'm on the Tri-Faith board from representing the American Muslim Institute, and I'm very excited about this conversation and looking forward to share our experience.
And if I can ask you, how long, you've always been a Muslim, how long have you been in Omaha?
18 years this July.
18 years at this July, and you were raised as a Muslim?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And you have a family here?
Yes. My wife and I have 3 beautiful, wonderful kids, and they are born and raised here, and trying to make them the best they can be in this great society.
That's, we only hope to pass on what we can. And you, young lady.
My name is Wendy Goldberg. I'm here representing Temple Israel and Reform Judaism. I am a 4th generation Omaha. Been here a really long time. And have been a member of the congregation in Omaha since I was 13.
Wow.
I was a conservative Jew before that, and then made that big switch to Reform Judaism, and have been a founding member of the Tri-Faith Initiative.
The Tri-Faith Initiative. We want to go back to that after we introduce our gentleman on the end.
I'm Eric Elmas. It's great to be with you again, Suzanna. And I am the senior minister, or some people say senior troublemaker, at Countryside Community Church, which is in the denomination the United Church of Christ at 87th and Pacific.
And it is you're a prolific writer, as I understand. You just came out with a new book, which we'll do an interview on that book.
Excellent, yes.
But the new book is called?
It's called Gifts of the Dark Wood, 7 Blessings for Soulful Skeptics and Other Wanderers.
Okay.
And, it just came out in September and makes great holiday giving.
Yes, it does. And your faith, I've been to your church. I've seen your church. I have not been to your synagogue. Tell me about the changing from traditional Judaism and to Reformed Judaism.
After I had my bat mitzvah when I was 13, I went to my parents and told them that I was a Reformed Jew. To me, that meant a lot more about praying with my feet. I'm very much interested in social justice and making the world a better place. And I'm not saying that conservative Judaism does not do that. It's just the platform which Reform Judaism stands, and I stand with them.
I want you to repeat that sentence. When I hold up my hand, that means you said something I want to hear again. The faith with your feet?
I pray with my feet. My actions are important.
And I think this is what the show is about. We want to talk about the actions that will bring a greater peace to this world, because this world is in trouble, but not so much. Not when we can have a Tri-Faith campus here in town. How was this idea brought up? How did we start this program? Because it's monumental. I think we're the only one in the U.S. Is that correct?
In the world.
In the world. We're in the world.
Yes.
Yes. I love that. The only one in the world. Tell us how it came about.
So in 2006, several of the leadership of Temple Israel were discussing with our congregation a transition, a move out west, and we decided we wanted to be intentional about who our neighbors were. Initially, maybe that was about parking lots and how much we were able to share space with each other, and ultimately it came to be more about relationships and how we could know who we live next to and be part of each other's lives and reach mutual understanding by being neighbors.
I love the intention, the word intention. The intention of this show is to bring understanding to different faiths so we can take it forward. And we don't have to live in the fear. But your intention of the campus was this, correct?
Correct.
Correct. I love that. What is your intention? What is the intention of, we'll go first with you, Doctor. What is the intention of Christianity living so closely with the with Jews and Muslims? I mean, because they would tell us that can't be done.
Yeah, well, that's a very good question, Suzanna, and I think that some people, when they hear tri-faith, they envision like there's three of the Abrahamic faiths trying to merge into a single faith, and that's not it at all. Actually, in fact, I've quipped with my congregation members when they've asked during our exploration process, what's the benefit to Countryside Church? I think one of the benefits is actually our members will become about 20% more Christian. And what I mean by that, though, is that each of the faiths, when they're in conversation with the others, gets to know their own faith even more deeply. And in my experience, the more deeply you travel within your own tradition, the more actually you get into the well waters where this all comes from that are actually universal. And so it actually, I expect my own congregation to actually delve deeper into their own and claim more centrally their own Christian faith, but in so doing, actually, coincidentally, finding themselves linked more deeply than ever with the other two faiths.
Wonderful. And how does the Muslim thought come with the Tri-Faith Initiative?
So as Wendy said, it happened in around 2006. And one thing unique about Muslim in general, but specifically in Omaha, is we are very much a new congregation, and we're trying to establish a place where it reflects our need for our spirituality, but another need for social and making sure that as part of this society, we are growing and learning and being part of this fabric. So when the opportunity presented itself, it was great. It was, I think, it was a great opportunity. I think it was a reflection of our leadership at the time of saying, this is who we are as a Muslim. This is our core values. It's about reaching out, reaching deeper, and building these relationships that not only materialize in a nice building, but in these relationships that will push us forward within our dream, as Wendy said, within the social justice, and counter the negative message with a very positive message. And I think we've been very successful in making that narrative and the actions that go with that.
Well, one of the things what I know is that as we've grown, our tribe, our parents, not knowing any better, will have us fear each other. They use that fear to keep us locked into our fence and our tribe. How do you embrace the fear and help people through the fear of the other faiths? Go ahead. I'll start with you.
I think it is a reality. I think it will be naive to say, no, that's not happening. We're all good here. I think it's a reality.
We need reality. We need to look reality in the face to take away its
Absolutely.
fear.
And that's, I think, this is a dream for me. I think this is a dream. Absence of things like the Tri-Faith Initiative of Omaha or things similar, and I'm sure there's probably other things, maybe hopefully even bigger, but I think from a scale, I think we are perhaps one of the biggest initiative here in Omaha and perhaps in the world, is the possibilities that comes with having this relationship, this deep relationship, first within ourselves, but through our with our partners, and how we can provide a different narrative to that fear. We had a meeting, and I'm going to go, Suzanna, very specific here, on a Monday as a Tri-Faith board member. The last 3 days, personally, as a Muslim here, I cannot describe to you my inner feelings, or as a father, what was happening within the relationship and the silence. But when I left that meeting, I felt very strong. I felt that I had friends, and I felt that, you know what, we will be okay. And that's what this Tri-Faith means to me. It's the possibility of a better tomorrow, not just for Omaha, but hopefully for our nation and more.
We're going to come back to you because you brought up a beautiful segment because of talking about your children and your faith and how you can move into it. Now, how do you suggest to the Jews who say, those Christians, they slaughtered us, and, those Germans, I mean, how do you do it? How do you handle the fear?
Well, I think it's important to remember that historically we have lived harmoniously with Muslims more than we have lived harmoniously with Christians. And
That's
I
interesting.
think that it's hard to remember that when you read the headlines or 140-character blurbs that get put out there today, or what's happening in the newspapers. So what I say is get educated, and by getting educated, it is being in relationships. Sit down, have a meal, have a conversation, get to know the intentions of our Christian and Muslim partners through hospitality, through inviting each other into our lives, into the lives of our children, into our professional settings, as well as our religious settings. And so through practicing practicing getting to know each other, listening intently to each other, we have the opportunity to move beyond fear to something really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Are you back, Doctor? Can we call on you? Would you like
Sorry.
That's all right.
I was just so moved by the wonderful words.
I mean, they both have rocked that fear thing. I'm dying to hear you saying, when I was growing up, I'll be honest with you, I'm Antiochian Orthodox. I was told not to talk to Catholics. I mean, the tribe does not know better.
Yeah.
So how do you handle the tribe that says, let's not talk to those Muslims or those Jews?
Sure. Well, first of all, I draw from my own life experience. There was once a time I was afraid of a lot of different people. I was afraid of powerful women. There was once a time I was afraid of homosexuals. There was once a time in my life where I was afraid of the poor. There was once a time in my life where I was afraid of Muslims. And Mexicans. So, I mean, there are all kinds of categories of people who I have in my past been afraid of, and then been brought into new awareness and been so appreciative of the fact that somebody had the grace to move me beyond my fears and into the reality of the situation, and to see the humanity of the people. And each time I've grown tremendously through that process, and I figure if I can change, a lot of other people are like me. Second of all, I think that it's important. I mean, fear can be a healthy thing too. I think one of the things we should be deeply afraid of is the way the world is moving with respect to our relationship with our neighbor and our relationship with the earth itself. That if we don't fix these two essential problems, I think they're the two greatest calls of our time, is reconciliation with our neighbor and reconciliation with the earth. If we don't get on this task and do more than just talk about it, but actually live with it, pray with our feet, I mean, how much longer are we going to logically think we can live on this planet without radically altering life as we know it? So it's just vitally important that there not just be one Tri-Faith initiative, but I think that many Tri-Faith initiatives throughout the world. And happily, actually, while we are the only one of its kind, there are more and more people talking about and forming the initial stages of Tri-Faith-like initiatives.
I am honored to have this group in the studio. We will be right back. We are talking with the Tri-Faith community. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Teresa Elliott with the Elliott Company and Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate. And I'm excited to be sponsoring Conversations with Suzanna, a show that will connect you with the tools you can use to live your life in peace and harmony. Simply go to ElliottOmaha.com and click on Life Tools for empowering ideas to live your life with purpose and harmony.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
I grow up, I want to be a fancy
When I grow up, I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper.
I want to be.
I want to be.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
The traditional light bulb, a groundbreaking invention in 1879. It's time we switch to longer-lasting Energy Star light bulbs. They're more efficient than the old bulbs, like a text message is more efficient than a carrier pigeon. And they cut down on our energy costs. Because in our own groundbreaking age, we deserve a light bulb that saves us some cash. Saving saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm place on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy
When I grow up,
I want to be a bike that races around the
When
country.
I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad
Listen,
Council.
as a hiring manager, I've got to tell you, the best job candidate isn't always the typical candidate. Sometimes they're a grad of life.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience, an ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Sometimes the best candidates aren't the ones you're used to.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. The difference between a child becoming one or the other could be you. Studies prove that reading to a child regularly dramatically improves reading skills. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are 4 times as likely to graduate. So United Way is calling for 1 million volunteers over the next 3 years. We're asking you to step up, make a pledge, tutor a child who needs help, mentor a kid who needs someone on their side, volunteer to read to children, make a difference. Because when a child advances, we all advance. Entire communities improve. The path to success or failure starts long before graduation day, and the difference between a graduate and a dropout could be you. Be a reader, tutor or mentor, give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge. Go to liveunited.org now. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
We're stopped here at one of those roadside memorials you see once in a while along the way. You know, those little white crosses. Well, somebody died right here in a tragic crash. And in Nebraska, 7 out of 10 killed weren't wearing seatbelts. So don't wait till you see a little white cross to buckle up. Get your belt on. Or your family might be putting up a little white cross. Click it or ticket from the Nebraska Department of Roads.
You are exactly where you need to be. This is Conversations with Suzanna. This is a show that will take you beyond your limited beliefs or the beliefs that you didn't even know were limited. And it will help you to understand that there is more we have to do to bring peace in the world. And that is our goal, is that we can live next to our neighbors and know our neighbors and support our neighbors and be peaceful. I have 3 people in the studio. We will ask them their names. They come from the Tri-Faith Center. It is the only one in the world. It is a Tri-Faith campus that is a hub of collaboration to social, educational, and conference facilities. And it teaches us that we can live together. We can. You know, if you look at the news, you don't think it. Trust me, we can. We can. We're learning to give up our fears in this show. And may I ask you to give your name, please?
I'm Kareem Kayati, and I am representing the American Muslim Institute on the Tri-Faith Initiative of Omaha. And I live here in Omaha, and very excited again to be here.
And then you're?
Wendy Goldberg, representing Temple Israel on the Tri-Faith campus.
Okay, and?
Eric Elness, I'm the Senior Minister of Countryside Community Church, Congregation of the United Church of Christ at 87th and Pacific in Omaha.
And so now we're going to go back to the Tri-Faith and building the bridge and erasing the hate that lies in the world. As a Jew, God bless you. I mean, I think you're the worst. I mean, I think you've had so many people talk against you and anti-Semitic. I see it in the whole Hitler thing. It blows my mind. And I just was out at the Air Force, the SAC Museum, and saw the little display, and the pictures are horrifying, yet there are people who say that didn't happen. So with all that pain, tell me, how do I bring peace to my neighbors? How do you bring peace to your neighbors?
First, I think it's important to remember. We have a lot to learn from history, and we certainly don't want history to repeat itself. So some of that is reminding ourselves that our voice is important. We need to stand up to hate and intolerance in this world, and that it's not the responsibility of someone else. It is the responsibility of us. And I see myself in that sandwich generation where I'm not certain if it's more important. I feel very secure in my own hope for the future. I choose not to live with fear feeding my day. But I find myself holding the hand of my parents and of their generation to help them to move beyond that terrible time in our history. And I don't have to hold the hands of my children in the same way. My children are a product of my home, and they feel hopeful, and they are accepting of people who are different than them, and they are excited by the opportunity to know people who are different than them. And I think that's what's going to get us to a new place.
I like this. You've had so many jewels in your conversation. You're very good at this. I like the product of your home. Product of your home. And if you'll tell us how you will use the product of your home to help people understand.
Yeah, I grew up in a congregation of the United Church of Christ where the minister of the congregation was best friends with the local rabbi, and they'd go on walks together regularly, and the minister had a dog named Moses, and the rabbi had a dog named Jesus. So kind of grew up with an appreciation of that, the phase from the beginning, not without my prejudices that I've had to get over. But certainly that is very much fully present. Has been fully present throughout my life.
And how do you teach the children that we're raising in our homes,
I
how
think,
not to be afraid?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important to teach our children, not simply through giving them theories and talking about platitudes about how we need to love each other, but they actually need to see us in action, just as Wendy was suggesting, that we all teach our children about love. We all teach our children about acceptance and all these things, but there's a lot fewer people who actually teach their children through taking bold and courageous actions in that regard, and I think that's what we're really called to do, is not just talk about it, but to do it. Our children learn the theology, the philosophy, whatever you want to call it, more through it being caught than taught.
Well, this is going to bring us to you, and this probably won't be nice. I'll try to be good. Okay.
I'm ready, Suzanna.
He was talking about how we teach.
Yes.
And I've seen, I hate the news sometimes because they've shown kids being taught to hate America.
Mm-hmm.
They've shown, how do you combat a faith that looks like it is against us? Is your faith against us?
No.
Yes, I want to hear that again. Tell me why it's not. Tell me why the news is telling me it is against us. You would think by the news, God bless you, that every Muslim wants to kill me.
My simple answer to that, Susanna, is somebody has to go back and read the headlines in the German paper in 1938, 39, and 36.
And what would that tell us?
You have to translate them from German, probably to English. But I don't think perhaps replacing the word Muslim to Jew and most of the kind of what we call mainstream media will be very much the same. I think Muslim are as others historically and cyclically being portrayed as bad people. I don't know what other words I can use, but that's a reality. This is something, though, I want to share with you.
Okay.
You said, how are you going to teach? Is what I have learned. I grew up in North Africa, in Tunisia, a place of 3,000 years. And there's a couple events that shaped my life. Tunisia has one of the oldest Jewish congregation in the world. One of the, actually, people trace it to the lost tribe, but has another group of Jews that came from Spain after the Inquisition. And the neighborhood were mixed. And I remember my grandma in the early 80s, as I was young back then, a lot of the Orthodox Jews observed Sabbath. And I remember my grandma, as a Muslim, used to cook because some of them, they were very religious and take and turn. So that's the type of things I grew up watching.
So your mother supported the Jews?
Absolutely. We were neighbors. We did not even know. We recognized them as neighbors, and we didn't even think of them. We recognized that they are different in some aspect, but that's the type of things. But the other thing I want to remind a lot of the people who question these things. Vichy France, when colonizing North Africa, Tunisia, Algeria, made a statement one time, and they said any Muslim who reported Jew, this is the 41, 42, so they can get him, will have their ownership. They have their land. And they give about 30 days. This is fact check. I will invite everybody.
My God.
Guess how many Jews were reported in that time span?
How many?
0.
Awesome.
0. This is not me. This is actually a Brooklyn Jew researcher that went to North Africa after September 11 and fact checked. Are these people really hate us? And found, is there small pockets here and there? I think that's not a monopoly on Islam or Muslim.
It's not a monopoly on any faith.
Yes. So that's a reality. But to make generalize this and dehumanize 1.5 or billion people, that's completely factual and true. Media will always be media. Entertainment will be always entertainment, but reality and facts will be always the reality and facts.
And it's important to get the reality and the facts out there, and I'm going to have to hold you because we've got that break coming up. God bless commercials. They keep us on the air, and we'll be right back, and we'll come back to you, Doctor. This is Conversations with Suzanna, heard on the World-Herald Live app, also at omaha.com/Suzanna. Powerful discussion today of how to bring peace in the world. That's all we need. We want it for ourselves. We want it for our neighbors. This is Conversations with Suzanna. We'll be right back.
Time is right.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't seen your lap in months. And even more stuff. But still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. The difference between a child becoming one or the other could be you. Studies prove that reading to a child regularly dramatically improves reading skills. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are 4 times as likely to graduate. So United Way is calling for 1 million volunteers over the next 3 years. We're asking you to step up, make a pledge, tutor a child who needs help, mentor a kid who needs someone on their side, volunteer to read to children, make a difference. Because when a child advances, we all advance. Entire communities improve. The path to success or failure starts long before graduation day, and the difference between a graduate and a dropout could be you. Be a reader, tutor or mentor, give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge. Go to liveunited.org now. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have bought with it. Visit EnergySavers.gov and get tips on how to save energy and money. Then do things like switch to Energy Star light bulbs or Energy Star appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars a year. So this doesn't happen to the recliner you've had your eye on, or this to the treadmill on your wish list, or this to the shiny new bike your kid's been asking for. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
What? What about our plan to win the lottery and start living? You know, travel the world on matching yachts, wear enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacation on the French Riviera, and then buy it.
You know we're never going to win the lottery, right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Every hiring manager knows that a company is only as good as the people it's made from. So where do you find the best people? That may surprise you.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
This is talent worth knowing about.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a
You
left.
are not going to
Then
believe
what you're
this.
going to do is turn
Marcy
into
and
Marcy
Brad
Avenue.
just broke up,
And go
and
past the
apparently
first three
she's
lights,
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
Drive
think she's
5 more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who am
there.
I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
that's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Omaha World-Herald has immediate openings for full or part-time distribution positions in Omaha and in Dodge and Washington counties. The job duties include managing contractors and overseeing customer service. All you need is a valid driver's license and a reliable vehicle that is insured. Proof of insurance is required. The Omaha World-Herald offers competitive pay and benefits, including a 401k plan. Apply now at www.owh.com.
You are exactly where you need to be. This is Conversations with Suzanna, heard on the World-Herald Live app. You will find us here at omaha.com/Suzanna. You will also go to iTunes, and this will be put up there. This show is a powerful show, as we have people from the Tri-Faith Collective here at the Tri-Faith Center. I'm using anything with Tri-Faith. It's just, it's all power. It's all power. And where the Tri-Faith campus is a hub of collaboration for social events, educational activities, and conference facilities. This show I brought together because of the fear that the news and the world is giving us. And we're going to try to help you face that fear, look at that fear, and realize that fear is nothing but faithless emotion appearing real, or false evidence appearing real. And as we stand in this seat, I would like us all to say who you are and your position, please.
I'm Kareem Kayati. I am a Muslim, and I'm representing the American Muslim Institute on the Tri-Faith Initiative leadership. And Suzanna, this is very exciting to be here.
Thank you. But you're also the head of the Muslim?
No, I am not the head of the Muslim.
Well, I'm going to put you the head, but go ahead. Tell me what you're...
I'm the vice president of the American Muslim Institute, and we're trying to work very hard to make the Muslim community in Omaha a vibrant, successful, and part of this great Omaha fabric.
Okay. And you are, young lady?
I am Wendy Goldberg, and I am representing Temple Israel on the Tri-Faith campus.
And you are one of the instigators of this.
I am one of the founding members of the board, yes.
And when you told other people what you wanted to do, what was the first reaction?
I think we had a lot of excitement. I think that dating back to 2006 when we got started, our leadership had a lot of energy for the idea of doing good work in Omaha, and our Rabbi Aryeh Azriel, is a visionary. He is unmatched. Mm-hmm. There is not another person who is willing to take risks for the good of humanity. And we are his loyal followers, and we are blessed that our leadership was excited and by this challenge as an opportunity.
Marvelous. And you are?
I'm Eric Elness. I'm the senior minister of Countryside Community Church, which is a congregation of the United Church of Christ at 87th and Pacific in Omaha.
And you're a prolific writer.
I do have a few books, most recent of which is Gifts of the Dark Wood, 7 Blessings for Soulful Skeptics and Other Wanderers.
Okay. And as we left the last and had to do our little break, you were just ready to get to the mic and say something about what our gentleman over here said.
Yeah, well, as Kareem was, answering the question about, the implication of is Islam, essentially violent. I felt in my gut, my own, awakening to my own faith, Christianity. I have a doctorate in the Old Testament or Hebrew Scriptures,
which is very violent.
Yeah, which that's a whole other story.
Don't even want to go there yet. Yeah.
I really actually hated the Old Testament or Hebrew Scriptures as younger, and actually fell head over heels in love with them while I was at Princeton Theological Seminary. But the point I was making, though, is that it took me to my doctorate program to realize just how complicit Christianity was in the Holocaust. I'd always kind of written off as like, the Nazis, they were just the fringe party and stuff like that. But in the doctoral program, you have to read some of the best biblical scholarship from the last century came from Germany. And as you read, like, I've got a whole set of books that are 3 feet high stacked on my in my library. It's the theological word book of the Old Testament and of the New Testament rather, and it's every single word has an article written about it, any kind of significant word. The scholar that was behind that project, he was a Nazi. And so many biblical scholars were actually affiliated with the Nazi Party in Germany. You realize, well, wait a minute, Germany was like 95% Christian at the time. You don't have, an effort like that without deep complicity on behalf of the church. Thank God there were other Christians who eventually stood up, but really too little, too late. Exactly. And so when I hear, my Muslim friends having to defend their faith, it's like, are you essentially violent?
Yes.
I feel that in my gut. It's like, that all of our faiths have to really, answer to those seasons of violence that are absolutely extreme. And to hear Christians, my own tribe, accusing a whole other faith of being essentially violent, it's like, have you ever looked at your own faith?
Well, I believe we all have jihadists. We all have jihadists. I mean, Christians were against, Catholics were against, Lutherans. It's just, we're all jihadists.
Absolutely.
We all have it. And you wanted to say something.
I think that historically our response to that kind of hate has been to build walls around ourselves. And we see a lot of examples in that in history. And I think where the Tri-Faith Initiative is different is that our goal is to build bridges of understanding instead of building walls around our own communities of people. And on that note, I just would like to clarify what the initiative actually is. Our goal, our mission, is to co-locate a church, a mosque, and a synagogue on one campus. There will be a 4th center, which is called the Tri-Faith Center, and in that center, we hope to have conversations. And the thing that has been celebrated about the initiative is that we are not looking to commingle our faiths, but instead to appreciate that we are different.
To love the diversity, which brings us to unity.
Right.
When you can love diversity, you understand yourself better and you hear things better, and it's all deal. We're taking another little break. We'll be right back. This is Conversations with Suzanna on the World-Herald Live app.
Every hiring manager knows that a company is only as good as the people it's made from. So where do you find the best people? That may surprise you.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
This is talent worth knowing about.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Hi, I'm Teresa Elliott with the Elliott Company and Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate. And I'm excited to be sponsoring Conversations with Suzanna, a show that will connect you with the tools you can use to live your life in peace and harmony. Simply go to elliotomaha.com and click on Life Tools for empowering ideas to live your life with purpose and harmony.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. The difference between a child becoming one or the other could be you. Studies prove that reading to a child regularly dramatically improves reading skills. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are 4 times as likely to graduate. So United Way is calling for 1 million volunteers over the next 3 years. We're asking you to step up, make a pledge, tutor a child who needs help, mentor a kid who needs someone on their side, volunteer to read to children, make a difference. Because when a child advances, we all advance. Entire communities improve. The path to success or failure starts long before graduation day, and the difference between a graduate and a dropout could be you. Be a reader, tutor or mentor, give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge. Go to liveunited.org now. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy
When I grow up, I want to be a bike that races around the country. When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
As I went through school, one giant question loomed over me. What did I want to be? First, I had to decide what I wanted to make. I wanted to make more, so I became a teacher. Now I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Alorica, the leading name in customer solutions, has come to Omaha and is hiring. If you have a passion for customer service and sales, then Alorica has a career for you. To learn more, stop by 7171 Mercy Road, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or online at alorica.com/associates. That's alorica.com/associates. Alorica is making lives better, one interaction at a time. Alorica is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, what's up? Holla at ya, boy. XOXOXO. You getting these texts? Question mark. Where are you? What are you doing? OMG, you are making me mad. You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Jesse! Let's go, guys! Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow, Jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are exactly where you need to be today. This is a show that will empower you and to help you to understand your neighbor. We have too much fear, and fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. It isn't until we walk and touch our neighbor and say hello that we get to understand him and understand it. This has been a very powerful conversation. I want to thank you, especially you, for being in here, because you are probably the misunderstood. We're all misunderstood. But tell me about the Tri-Faith Initiative, would you, please?
So Temple Israel, we moved into our new building in 2013. We're excited that I believe this week dirt is going to start moving for the other 3 buildings. And the next building to be constructed is the mosque with an expected completion in 2016.
End of 2016.
And then the church and Tri-Faith Center expected completion in 2018-19, depending. 17. All right.
Well.
17.
Okay, 18.
All right. 17-18. He has goodwill for fast speed.
Yeah, he does. He does. So, and are we having discussion groups often? Are we doing things now that will bring us all together? I'm going to have you back. I'll be honest with you. This has been a powerful information, and we need to heal the world, and we have to start by healing ourselves, healing our fears. So tell me about that.
So we're doing a great deal of programming. We have a speakers bureau, and we would love to be invited into community organizations to spread the word of the work that we are doing and help people to understand truly what our message is, to get to know us. And within our own congregations, we are working to get to know each other better and to reduce fear of knowing each other.
As we talked about this, and I come back to you, Kareem, there was word, is this a nonprofit? Is that
yes,
correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
And there was word that it was being sponsored by people from other countries. Can you put it? I mean, this is how crazy people get.
Yes.
This is how fear works.
This is the only country that's sponsoring this initiative, is the United States of America.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it peaceful? And it is a peaceful endeavor, correct?
Yeah.
Tell the story of the $10.
Yeah.
You know, our project, and I'm going to talk at this point from a Muslim project. It's building a mosque, but it's more than a mosque. It's a center, social, because the Muslim community here in Omaha needs a little bit more than just a prayer hall. We need a lot of other things, and we need this building, and it's about $6+ million. And Suzanna, I can look in the eyes and I can tell you that 99.9% of the money came from Omaha.
Wow.
Except $10 came from a little girl. She wrote through PayPal, and she said she was doing some research for her school project about things, you know, and she convinced her dad to give $10 from this, and this was, I believe, from Egypt.
Wow.
And that's all the money we got internationally.
Okay.
And I love if one thing we can do, go beyond the border and influence one little Muslim girl. So this project has been successful.
And the show is about starting love, spreading knowledge to those who need it. And I want to thank you all for coming in. You have been a great gift to the show. You are a great gift to the city. And you are a great gift to those around who, like me, is working for peace. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for the opportunity.
a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't seen your lap in months. And even more stuff. But still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that movie theater Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band?